when we say artificial intelligence, what we are trying to do, we are trying to give machines human-like capabilities such as solving real-world problems, complex problems, think like a human, right? That's why we're calling them AI. You see, they are calling it artificial because it's not like the human mind, but they want it to look like human mind. How does it reason, think like a human, solve problems like a human? That's what we call it artificial intelligence. And today, this is such a huge thing that all those who are not using AI in their environments will find themselves completely phased out, as they are just missing opportunities to be more efficient in, how do you call it, to be more, to gain more competitive advantage. So we'll deep dive to see what AI is and what are some applications of AI that we can use in our day-to-day tasks. So when we say generative AI, then now most people know what ChatGPT is. ChatGPT is an example of what generative AI is. So it's basically, as one of the participants just said, you ask the machine, then the machine replies, right? But how is all this process working? This is what we will see in the next slides. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mounkaila Mahamadou, and I'm from Niger. I'm going to be the speaker for this session regarding the usage of tech in the business sphere. So before we start, maybe I will allow everyone to introduce himself and tell me in what business you are.
Good day, everyone. My name is Okojinora. I'm a nightwear producer at Moonlocks.
Excellent. Nice to meet you, Nora.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rukaya. I'm into culinary and confectionery services.
Nice to meet you, Rukaya.
Hello, my name is Zolatunji Omonara from Nigeria. I'm into bag making and footwear production.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aisha Bello Marafa. I am the founder of Isha's Cake and Confectionery. We make different types of cakes for birthday, weddings, and pastries. We also do trainings, both online and practicals.
Good. I hope I will get a cake at the end of the session. Nice to meet you. You can stop me anytime and ask me questions. So the first thing we're going to explore today will be key technologies for small businesses growth. The second point will be interactive workshop on how to choose the right tool for your business. We'll also see what AI is and what generative AI is, because most of the time people use these terms interchangeably without knowing really what they are. The reason why I'm going to cover this, because today everything is centered AI. So knowing what AI is and what generative AI is will make the usage easier for us and understand how to better use them in our daily operations. And we will see also what AI productivity, efficiency, and streamlining small and medium enterprise operations looks like in our businesses. And we'll finish by using I don't know whether you are familiar with Excel VBA, because I know that for sure every one of you uses Excel. So knowing how to use advanced Excel features with the use of AI is something that can definitely help most of us here to streamline our day-to-day business operations. So as I was saying, in this session, we'll explore how technology and AI can boost your businesses, right? Since we don't have, I reserved an icebreaker activity, but we don't have too much time to go through that. This is a summary of what I just said in a nutshell. So let's say, let's go ahead. So technology, as you know, it plays a key role in scaling business operations to improve your business efficiency and make you ahead of your challenges. So not using technology today is something that can cost you too much money. So we'll see how technology plays this vital role. We know also that technology will allow you to to make your business process automatic by enhancing customer experiences that will allow you to acquire new clients and reach for new markets. So with the digital tools that we'll explore today, your companies can streamline operations, analyze data for better decision-making, and drive innovation. Today, we know that everything is based on data. So if you are not able to analyze data, take advantage of your data, make informed decision. This is part of the things that make most of businesses today not being able to succeed just because we don't know how to use data. So we see how to manage in a data-driven landscape. We start with cloud computing. What cloud computing is? Today we have several types of cloud computing. And cloud computing is just a platform that you have online that will allow you to, how do you call it? Allow you to make the best of your business. Today, everybody uses Microsoft 365, which comes with several tools such as Excel that is wide used. You have also Microsoft Azure that you can use. This is for most of people who are into computing. But if you're not into computing, also you can still find some usage of this cloud computing. The main competitor of Microsoft 365 today is Google Workspace, which share basic, if you want, functionalities, right? So ask yourself why cloud computing, as I said. The cloud computing will allow you to have your data stored in the cloud, which means in a remote server somewhere. So whenever you need your data, you can have it. You can collaborate with your employees, or let's say those you share an office with. Your data can be secured. You can back up your data also, real-time collaboration, as I was saying earlier. Now it depends. We have cloud computers that some are free, some are paid, and it's up to you to go with the one that is most cost-effective for you. But I believe that these two are the mostly wide used, and that you definitely find what you're looking for in these two. If you have questions, remember you can stop me at any point of time and I can stress on any part that you didn't maybe understand very well. And sometimes you may also sense the accent. I'm Francophone, so If still you don't get what I'm saying, try to stop me. So as part of the question, why cloud computing? It will allow you to use scalable resources. You're not forced to use all the features maybe that the service got. You can use only those you need and pay for these. It will allow you not to have physical infrastructure your business, whether it's server, because you know servers will use huge energy. You will need electricity all the time. Sorry, you are saying something? Hello. Okay. So it will allow you also to work from everywhere. Hello?
Oh, I think no one is talking. You can continue.
Come again?
No one is talking. You can continue.
Okay. It will enhance collaboration. You can find shares with your colleagues in a secured manner. So most of the tools for these cloud computers, you'll find Amazon Web Services. I already mentioned Azure and Google Cloud. One of the tools that every business leader or business organization can use the digital marketing, because more and more, everything is getting digital. So we should take advantage of the various tools that we have. Some are free, some are paid, to reach the type of clients we are targeting. So for this, as I said, targeted reach, you can engage with specific customer segments. For example, if you want to make an ad on Facebook, you can choose the region, the type of segment. I mean, by segment, what I mean is the type of business that you want to reach, the age group, the geographical position, to better reach the specific type of client you're looking for. With these tools, the result is obvious and very clear. You can track the campaign's performance, like seeing how many people have been reached so far. Am I really reaching the type of audience I'm looking for from the type of my business? You can set the budget for the campaign. This helps you also raise awareness of your brand in order to build a strong online presence. So the example I just gave is for Google Ad, but no, not Google Ad, Facebook, but the same is also true for Google Ads and even on LinkedIn, which is more professional. For a business leader, as part of technology that you can use, because most of you are having retail businesses, it will be good to have an online presence. And this online presence can be achieved through several free resources that we have. For example, if you want to set up a business, you can have WooCommerce, which is based on WordPress. WordPress is one of the most used CMS, and it currently holds, I believe, more than 70% of all the websites that we have today on the internet. So it's a powerful tool. You can use WordPress to have your online shop by using WooCommerce. You can also have Shopify, which will also allow you to have an online presence. You'll be able to sell and buy online, even make payments, and it's very convenient, which is available 24/7. This will also help you to generate revenue and expand your reach globally. I believe they just mentioned this. So after setting your online presence, now is the time to make money. And you can make money through the same platforms as I'm saying, Shopify and WooCommerce, by integrating APIs. Either it is to pay online through credit cards, or even today we have APIs that will allow you to integrate your website to a mobile payment solution that is available locally, even though it can be countrywide. Every country has its own mobile solutions. I know MTN in Nigeria, Niger, we have Money, we have other, how do you call it, types of mobile payment solutions. So whichever you decide to go with, you will not go wrong, because there we have several APIs that we can use to use those kind of payment methods, whether it is just the credit card or a mobile payment solution. So this is what we call payment gateways. PayPal and Stripe are other examples. So before going and choose any tool or, let's say, solution for a business, you need to go through some steps. So obviously the first step is the need assessment. What do I need? What does my business need? So this is the time to identify what are the problems you are saving and what solutions do you need. Then we search for the tool. We have very, how do you call it, numerous solutions when it comes to tools, dependent on the type of business you have. Then you compare these tools to see which one is, how do you call it, aligns more to your budget. And even when it's come to features, because as I was saying earlier, you may have one that has several features, but you don't need all the features, you just need some of these features. Then you do the comparison, see which one is cost effective for me. You may decide to go with one that has less features, but that will cost less. Or you may also decide to have one that have several features, even though you may not need them right now, that look into the features, see how fast you're growing, and decide whether, okay, I will need them in a year. So if the budgets allow you to go for them, then yeah, you can. Then you test it to see whether it's really functioning as expected. Gather feedbacks, then you iterate, just like in the agile project management way. Then you develop your strategy, which should be very clear. You're using these tools, then you track what progress you're making, whether your decision to go for that specific tool is really right. Then if it's wrong, also, you know what to do. You just take it over and try another one. So our next topic is understanding AI and generative AI. Who can tell me, please, this time what AI is? Who can tell me?
Artificial intelligence.
Very good, but what is just artificial intelligence? What is it really practically?
It's where you can ask a question to maybe a robot, something like that, and you get a reply.
Mm-hmm. That's good attempt. I love this. Who has something better? What she said is not completely wrong.
An AI is an artificial intelligence app or tool that is used for learning, and research.
Which is also true. But you see here, so as we can see, the definition to AI is simply refers to the broader field of creating machines or software that can mimic human intelligence, as I was saying. It includes techniques that allow computers to learn from data, make decisions, and solve problems. So this is their ability to learn from data. And your AI is only as good as your data, as we use data to train the AI to behave in a specific way that we want them to behave in order to make decisions and solve problems. An example for it, we want to make a prediction of how this year's weather can be. So we just collect data from 10 years back. And then we train our machine to understand how the weather has been for 10 years. So it will collect data such as, how do you call it, land moisture, the average rainfall, and many parameters. And from these data, it will try to make a prediction on how the next weather will be, or the next season, rainy season will be. Whereas in the other hand, the generative AI is, it will use first AI, then work it out by creating a new content, such as text, images, music, or even videos. If time allows, we will go at the time of our particles, you'll see how we can use AI to be more productive and to gain competitive advantage. So this is the main difference that we should look when we are looking at AI and generative AI. Generative AI has the ability to really create new content from the data or from the model that is being trained on. It learns the pattern and structure of existing data to generate new instances that are similar but not identical. So we have two techniques mainly that are used for generative AIs. You have the GANs, which stand for Generative Adversarial Networks, use two neural networks to create realistic images, videos, or audio. I don't know if you are familiar with a new generative AI released by OpenAI, the owner of ChatGPT. So with this, you only need some prompts, and the prompt will create you realistic videos. So you see how powerful this generative AI is getting day by day. Then we have the transformers, which are the models of generative AI that are most known today, ChatGPT-like. That's why we call them, you have chat, then you add GPT, which is generative pre-trained transformer. We have examples today. It's not only ChatGPT that is wide known or wide used, but it's just the most known. But aside, you have Gemini from Google, and you have my favorite, which is called Cloud AI. And they basically have the same structure, or they work similarly, but the outputs are different depending on how the developer work on them or ask them to behave. So we know now what AI is and what generative AI is. But if you remember, I was mentioning the fact that they are based on a data, and that your data is only good depending on the type. Your model, is only good depending on the data that you've used. How do we train these data? We have three main techniques that are used to train AI. So the first one is called supervised learning. So what happened? In the supervised learning, we have labels. So data are labeled as to be mapped into the outputs that the model will, that we provide the model. An example, very clear. It's just saying, or the ability to say to the machine, you show the machine 3 tomatoes, for example, and you label them tomato, tomato, tomato. So in the supervised learning, this is what we are doing. We are training the machine by teaching the machine what tomato is and writing a tag next to the tomatoes. You see, then we are telling the machine, these are tomatoes. This is one way of teaching AI, and it's called supervised learning. So let's remember that it has a label and it's a structured data. An example of usage would be to use spams in your, to detect rather spams in your emails, image classification, and even in medical diagnosis. And most use cases will be fraud detection in banking. Sometimes you see when you go to your ATM trying to withdraw some money, but the slightest mistake can trigger this kind of AI-driven fraud detectors. Then comes the unsupervised learning, which is the second type of the AI training model, how we train an AI model, which find patterns in data without predefined labels or outputs. If you remember, the first one got labels, right? And in this second type, not all the data is labeled, but it's up to the machine to detect some data that are structured and some are unstructured. You see the difference, right? These ones are labeled, and the second one, not all data is labeled. So the machine got to take those data that are labeled, learn them, and guess the next data based on the known rest of data. I'm sorry. And then an example would be customer segmentation anomaly detection recommendation systems. It can identify, and use case will be identify customer segments for targeted marketing, discovering trends in social media data. The last one would be the reinforcement learning, which is the type of learning that machines is like, I like to call it, you punish the machine. So the machine learns the hard way. You ask the machine to do something. When the machine succeeds in understanding the object, you compensate the machine. And when it fails to learn, then the machine gets to be penalized. So the machine learns here by interacting with an environment, receiving rewards and penalties for its action. So when it works, you particularly say bravo. And when it fails, then you say too bad. So this is how we get to train the machine.
Please, I think I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so the difference that you made between the supervised learning AI and the unsupervised learning AI, you were using some product in terms of the supervised learning AI. I want to ask if there are some specific product that you can use for the supervised learning AI, and what kind of product that you can use for that?
So this is a very good question, and I'll answer it. When I started mentioning the fact that for the supervised learning, you want to train the machine to understand something, we said we have three ways. So the first way is giving the machine known data that are known. It's simply because these are the data that you have in hand. So it's easy for you to just train the machine because whichever, let me say, regardless of the output, it's first what data you have in hand. Most of the time, it's not because I just want to create a fraud detection. You can use still unsupervised learning to create a fraud detection in banking method. But we just give that use case because I want you to understand that in order to train your model, you need to know what kind of data do you have. If by chance, all the data that you have are known, are labeled, is structured, then it's easy for you to implement the learning process of your machine through supervised learning, which is that you know already all the data. But when you don't know, you have data, for example, that are coming from emails, from fax, from some reports. You see, in this case, your data is not very structured. So it will be very difficult for you to, let's say, label this data right away and then train the model. But since this is the type of data that you have in hand, then you make the decision to go with unsupervised learning because simply your data is not structured. You see what I mean? So you use the type of technique which is unsupervised, which means that since I don't have structured data, I'm receiving data from various sources, then yeah, I would definitely go with unsupervised learning. But it will also happen that you will be in an environment where the data is not labeled, even some portion of data is not labeled. Here, everything is unknown for you. So the only way to train the model is using the reinforcement learning. And you will see a use case of reinforced learning, which will be to use the machine. You put the machine in an environment and you tell the machine, learn from yourself. But during the learning process, when the machine succeeds, because you're observing the machine, when the machine succeeds by itself to understand that these are tomatoes without us specifically telling the machine that this is a tomato, then we said, yes, here we are rewarding the machine for this good answer. Then it knows that, yeah, this is tomato. So I succeeded and I've been rewarded. And on the contrary, when it fails to detect that these are tomatoes, then you punish the machine. Next time, it will not choose the same product as tomato because you already punished the machine not to choose that specific item as tomato. I don't know whether it's very clear between the three.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah. Thank you for your
very
question. You're most
Okay.
welcome. So in a nutshell, this is what we have. We have now generative AI, which is on top, and that most people know when it's come to AI, because whenever we say AI, people will just mention a generative AI example, whether it's Gemini or ChatGPT, which is most known. Then you have machine learning, which is a subset of AI, right? But it uses neural networks to predict, solve problems. Deep learning is something that goes beyond machine learning, even though it's a type of machine learning. But you see, an example of deep learning would be, for example, most of you guys know that today we have cars that drive themselves. We have drivers, right? And these kind of technologies are using deep learning because deep learning simply is much more advanced than machine learning, which is the three types of AI that we just see. Machine learning is just the ability to train the model. And now we know that we have three techniques that we use to train the model, which are supervised, unsupervised, and learning by reinforcement. So deep learning is much more for complex use cases where we want to use drones to make, how they call it, accurate attacks when it comes to the military. We can use today drones to make smart farming, right? To go and just take pictures of crops. Then we will use those data that can be analyzed by AI to know whether these plants are healthier or not, or sometimes even to know whether the land on which we have those crops are moisture enough or not. Then you have at the bottom the artificial intelligence that encompasses all these remaining three elements. They are all a subset of artificial intelligence. Is this summary good enough for you to understand what AI is now? Or any other person has a question? I'm glad to answer before we move on. And my time is really coming so far because I have to stop by 6. I have another commitment. I wish we have another session because I have interesting practicals. I hate classes that are too much theoretical. I wish we had some time that we can practice, make some data analysis using AI, because this is what most of you, I'm pretty sure, are interested in. So when it's come to, I have some few stats for you to know, to rather show you. how efficient it is to use today AI. When we talk about AI for productivity or AI in your business, we are talking about 20% faster processes. So AI will eliminate all those low processes, or let's say you have tasks that are very repetitive and very slow. You can use AI today to make your work easier, faster, and more how do you call it? Errorless, right? You make less error compared to when you're not using AI. Then it will also reduce the costs most of the time of your business processes by optimizing resource allocation. You improve accuracy, as I was saying, because we humans, even though we are smarter than AI, I love to say that, even though some will disagree, but I think it's an open debate. Humans make too much mistake, but when it's come to AI, because it has been trained to do a specific task, it's very fast and more accurate than humans. And
I have questions, sir.
please go.
Okay, apart from ChatGPT,
Yeah.
what AI applications can we use for business?
Okay, you have Gemini from Google.
Okay.
Okay, Gemini. Let me write it in the comment section. So then apart from Gemini, you also have Claude, which I was saying is one of my favorites. Because you know why? ChatGPT, when you look at ChatGPT today, ChatGPT is less effective than it used to be when it's launched. Simply because now everyone is afraid on how some bad intention people can use AI, you understand, to commit some crimes. I remember ChatGPT when it came all the way in 2022, December 2022. You can ask ChatGPT how to escape to prison, how to commit crimes. And you see, today, all these, when you ask ChatGPT, you just try to shun the question or just simply telling you that I'm not an expert or I cannot be complicit in teaching you how to commit crimes. But still, some like Claude that I'm saying, it doesn't restrict you completely from, let's say, give you those kind of answers as ChatGPT does in just saying no completely. But this guy can just show you a bit of the answer, but being mindful of the fact that you shouldn't do it because you may end up being in trouble. And it's more, how do I say this? Like the results that you get sometimes are more acceptable than ChatGPT. But still, even though with ChatGPT you can use, today most people use the free version. That's why sometimes they don't have the answers they're looking for. You can still go for the paid version. But still, Claude is, for me, the winner here. I really invite you to try these tools so that you can make your own decision. I cannot see how to, I wanted to type. Since I'm sharing my screen, I don't know if I can do, maybe you can do that there. Yeah, maybe we can do it. Yeah, you type it out very good.
Yes.
All right, so you have 5% better decisions when you're using data-driven insights. So you know what data-driven insights is? These AIs are only strong because they use data. And today, data is the new gold. Those who hold data in the world are the most powerful. So that's why using the right data will take you really ahead of the competition. When you know what all your clients in a given segment want, definitely you are the one who would take advantage on those who do not even know what my client wants. So that's why we need to make informed decisions based on data. And today, AI can really give us all the tools needed to make those data-driven decisions in our organizations. So this is something that's very important for me, and I thought that I would share it with you. Since everything is going more and more related to AI, we need to know what prompt engineering is. And you'll be shocked to know that today, prompt engineering is a whole job on its own. Whereas in a year, like the past year, nobody would have thought that we have something called prompt engineering. And the prompt engineering is nothing but the art of asking the machine, asking the AI questions. So when we look at this definition, it's saying it's the art of designing effective prompts to guide the behavior of AI language models like GPT. Remember already what GPT is, right? Per-trained transformers, generative per-trained transformers. So they help generate more accurate, relevant, and helpful responses. So when you know how to ask the good questions, you win over someone who doesn't know how to ask questions. So that's why we will go through some techniques, and these techniques will help us get more meaningful results when it's come to asking questions from AI. So the first one that we will see is the instruction-based prompting. So how does it work? You need to clearly specify the task or actions for the AI. An example would be write a summary of AI in healthcare. So you see here what you're doing. You are just not asking a summary of anything. You know already what you want. So you're going for it. Healthcare. Direct tasks like summarizes, lists, translations. You can ask, the use cases can be like this. For example, you have a document, you just ask ChatGPT, for example, translate the following documents in English or in French, then you attach the document. So here, the instruction is very clear. It's not ambiguous. They call this the second few-shot prompting. So you provide a few examples to guide the AI responses. An example is question, what is AI? Then you see now, you're saying answer artificial intelligence. Here, instead of just leaving the machine to guess what AI is, I'm helping the machine to understand that AI is artificial intelligence. Even though it knows it, sometimes it's good to adapt, to guide the machine to go towards the output you are looking forward. Okay. Do we have any doubt on these two so far? I can continue. So, chain out through prompting. You ask the AI to explain its reasoning before answering. I love this too much because it's so easy, because this is where the machine knows too much. So it's up to you to push it, right? To explain it by reasoning, to give you an answer before even having the final answer. Like asking the machine, what do you think about, for example, the Big Bang theory? Then you throw up another question related to that. An example is explain your reasoning before giving the final answer. So here you have two things. You understand what's the reason behind the way the machine is explaining it, the way it's going to explain it in advance. So they're saying it's useful for complex reasoning and problem-solving tasks. Role-playing prompting. You assign a role or persona to the AI to influence tone and style. So here is, the example is very clear. For example, let's say you want to write an essay, right? You are a student and you want to write an essay. And you have a specific style that you want the machine to write in. So you can simply copy either an example of the writing of the person, ask the machine to inspire itself by the way that text is written to give you an answer, or simply it can understand when it's someone who is well known, for example, your role model. If it's well known, you can just ask the machine to write the answer as if it was that person. It can also do that. That's why they're getting more and more powerful. We just need to know how to drop the right question. Step-by-step instructions. So this one is very interesting because you will barely go wrong when you give the machine all the steps that it needs to take to give you the answer you're looking for. You see what I mean? Instead of going into something general, let's say I want to create a school curriculum. So I'll break down the steps into 3 steps, for example. The first one would be go online and look at the best AI curriculum in the world. The second step, map it to look like what people are doing in Africa, for example. Make the AI that you mentioned in the first step be used for people living in Africa. And then the third point will be maybe to bring it down to a country level instead of Africa level. So here you are pushing the machine to go step by step, which will allow your answer to be even more refined and concise. But if you want it more refined one, then you have the refinement and the iteration. This will allow you to adjust the prompt for improved responses based on the initial output. So let's say I've already discussed with the AI. We've already interacted, asked several questions, and I received some answers already. Instead of just repeating one of the questions I asked, if I know the position of one question, I would just ask the machine, for example, based on my previous answer, do the following. You see, it's a sort of follow-up question based on an initial prompt to improve your response. Because simply maybe the response it gave you earlier doesn't suit you, but you want a more refined answer, then you can do that. I love to, since I'm bilingual, what I do most of the time, when I'm, for example, translating a document, I'll ask my questions in English, making sure that everything is clear. Then I would just say, for example, say it in French. Then automatically it knows that by say it in French, I'm referring to my past prompt, which was in English. And obviously I was satisfied. That's why I'm asking the machine to now go ahead, take the prompt, the previous one, right? I want to make it even better in another language, not only better by structure, but completely in another language. So this expands on the benefits of AI in education. These are, be mindful that there are examples of prompts that you can use. Please, does anyone have so far a question for me? I guess no. They say silence means consent.
I have a question.
Go ahead, please. Sometimes I love questions because they help us make it clear for others too.
Okay, so talking about the AI, as a small business or startup business, trying to include AI to my business.
Yeah.
Because nowadays people talk about confidentiality of the platform, the AI app.
Yeah.
Because they think inputting your confidential information in the app, it will display it to other people. So how can you secure the security system of that AI? How can you do it personally without your information being transferred to other people? For instance, GPT, for instance, if you type something inside, people think your information will be displayed to others in case someone is looking for the same information you searched for. How can you build a security system?
Thank you for your questions. Thank you for this is a very good question. But just know that no one will know what you are asking the your generative AI. So whatever you asked the AI is completely going to be private. It's between you and the AI, right? But the catch is that even ChatGPT would tell you, be careful of not sharing sensitive data. Why is ChatGPT asking you this? It's because, not because somebody will see it or it will give your data to somebody, but no. You remember I told you the machine learns by itself, right? Through the different types of machine learning, especially by reinforcement. It can even go online to read data about a specific person or a specific activity, so that, remember, data is key here. So everything you type is like you are training ChatGPT to understand more what you are feeding it. So maybe this is where your data can be in danger, because simply ChatGPT is now using your data to train its own model, that tomorrow if somebody asks a question, it may use your data without saying that I took this data from A or B or C, but simply somebody will get fed by your answer, even if it's not directly your answer, but you participated in the way the machine is replying to someone else just by the pattern of the data you fed the machine. I don't know whether it's very clear. So in a nutshell, the security is really, let's say, it's not going to be exposed directly, saying that this data that I'm showing you is from XYZ. No, but the machine now, through your question, gets smarter. And tomorrow when it's replying to somebody else, it may use your data to answer to another person without specifically saying that the data is coming from you. I don't know whether it's clear.
Okay, it's clear now.
Yeah. So this is some of, unfortunately, the catches of AI, simply because everything is based on data. So we should be very mindful of what we are even asking the machine. Nobody would know that it's coming from you, but
Hello,
you
sir.
yourself. Yeah, please.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, sir. Please, I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So far, I want to ask, if you are not into tech as a business owner, can you use those cloud computing tools effectively on your own without consulting those that are into tech or hire them? Is this app so easy to handle for business owners like me? That is one. Two,
excuse me. Can you just repeat the question? It's like the network is breaking. I didn't hear the question completely.
Okay. All right. The question is that if you are not into tech, like I'm not a tech person, I'm just a business owner, can I use these cloud tools effectively for my business?
Yeah.
Without hiring tech operators?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, sir. So the second question is that I want to know the app.
You want to know?
That I'm to be designing a pattern on a bag for me. Is that any? All right, those are my questions, sir.
Sorry, I didn't hear you very well. You said the second question, you want to pattern something, or?
You didn't hear me for the second question, right?
Yeah, I heard the first, but I was finding it difficult to understand the second one.
Okay. The second question is that, is there an application that can perform pattern designing for me, because I'm a bag maker? I design bags. So I want to transit into technology that can handle that designing for me. Do you understand me, sir?
Yes, I understand you. So like you just asking whether there is a tech that can do design for you, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Absolutely. So if you remember, yeah, I'm answering to your question. Thank you for your questions. So the first one, yeah, we have different types of cloud computing. It's not only Google or how do you call it, 365. You can even decide to host your own cloud computing for your own business. You have open source tools like Nextcloud that you can use on a machine, your own laptop, you can make it a cloud computer. You see, but the reason why we don't go with these, how do you call it, tools, or let's say possibilities, because it's very expensive when you have to run your own cloud computing system. That's why we go to either Dropbox or we go to a third party like Google or Office 365. But yes, it's definitely possible. The answer is yes. And for the second one, you remember I was mentioning when I said AI, then I also mentioned generative AI. So the generative AI has the capability to actually design anything you want. Let's do some practicals. I want to share, so we can do, just tell me what you have in mind and let's see whether it can do the design, okay? Tell me, what do you have in mind? What do you want us to do the design right now using AI?
Just a bag or
a bag, right?
A pattern.
A pattern, okay. So let's take
any bag or wallet, just one.
Okay. Let me open another browser. I'm sorry, I'm not too much showing in the screen. I'm afraid that I have to stop sharing. I'll come back. I'll just show you. This is going to be fun, actually. Okay, let me share back the screen. Okay, so let's say we're going to use ChatGPT. There is a tool called DALL-E. DALL-E is within ChatGPT. Of course, you have free alternatives that I will give you that you can use. So let's say we're going to practice at the same time what we just learned in prompt engineering, right? Let's say I am an entrepreneur that design bags. I want ideas of bag designs for Africans, specifically in Nigeria, for example. We can even go forward. And here what we can do. You see how I started my prompt? First of all, I'm trying to tell the machine who I am, right? I am an entrepreneur that designs bags. So now the machine knows that I'm into bags. So it has just put that in memory. And I'm telling the machine next that I want ideas of bag designs for Africans. So if I stop here, it will give me a general idea of bags. But now I'm going forward to say that specifically in Nigeria. So anything the machine is going to design will be based on its data on known facts in Nigeria. You see what I mean? Right? So let's just stop here. For example, our prompt is already specific. You will see what the machine will say, for example. It's saying for designing bags, especially for Nigerian market, you can focus on cultural elements, practicality and versatility. Here are some ideas for bag designs that could resonate well with the Nigerian audience. So you see what now the AI is trying to do? It's giving me suggestions out of my prompt. You see, to make sure that it really understands what I'm trying to say. It could simply just fed me with an answer right away. But since I've started by giving it prompts that direct it to an output, it thought that, okay, I can make you suggestions to really go deep into what you are looking for. So what do you want us to choose here? They said Ankara leather combo bags, multifunctional tote bags, eco-friendly bags, customizable bag with local motifs. What do you want us to add? Tell me, guide me on this.
The tote bag is okay.
So tote bag is which number? Number 2. So you see, I can just say, instead of saying, for example, multifunctional tote bags, I would just tell it, go with option 2. You remember in right now, when I was showing you the prompt engineering, you see this one is the refinement word. Based on an answer, I can follow up to get a more refined answer. So when I say go to option 2, it's not that I'm referring to multifunctional tote bags. So let's see what it will say next. So now it's generating the image. I don't know whether this is a tote bag, but I know something for sure. It's trying to integrate local elements into the bag.
Tote bag.
Right? So yeah, this is how. And you can even go further. For example, if you want the type of materials, if you have measurements, let's say, for example, this is just the bag, but you want to know how this bag has been made. You want specific details regarding the types of element I can use, even the budget, how much it can cost to create this kind of bags. This is why AI is very important. You can use it in any aspect of your business, be it project management. You want to know how to optimize resources. You can do it just to know how to use questions to achieve your goal. For example, let's just say a follow-up question. This is great, but I want to know based on raw materials used to craft this bag, how much can that cost me to create this bag? What will I need as skills, for example? I'm just making the prompt more complicated. So you see, for example, let's say you're not in the sector, but I was just curious. I wanted to know this bag. What are the raw materials needed to reproduce this? So it's saying full grain or top grain leather, the thickness by millimeter for the durability, right? The amount, estimation cost, and we even have the total cost. The Ankara fabric, also the same thing. I don't know how it costs, but it's saying 3 to 10 per yard. You have the bag lining, canvas, or polyester. Metal hardware. I'm sure it's referring to these nodes in here. right? And yeah, you can see how it's breaking down all these, right? Estimated total cost of raw materials, 42 to 155 per bag. Let's say, how much can I sell it for maximum profit? You see, the interesting thing the AI is doing is calculating first the total production cost, because you cannot just sell the bag without knowing how much it's costing us.
Yes.
Right? So the material cost per bag is saying 42, the labor cost 20 to 50 per bag, the overhead costs, and then you have the total estimation production cost. Then now it's even doing extra to what I asked it. To set the right price, it's important to consider your target audience, market trends, and the uniqueness of your product. So you should know how much to focus on the segment. Let me just give you a story. I have a friend who sells exactly leather bags. So one day I was in his store, and one lady stepped in the store and she asked, "How much is this bag?" And he said 80,000 CFA. And she shouted, I can remember her reaction, "But this is too much expensive." Whereas even your competitor, Zamani, she's selling it at 40,000 CFA. And he said, "I'm sorry, madam, but this bag is not meant for people like you." I know he was rude. He was definitely rude, but it's just saying actually that the segment of this bag is not looking for people like you. So it's important for any business owner to know, where is my product going? Who are my clients? Like, who am I really aiming? And we see the AI has done that for us, the market positioning, pushing you to know first where you are intended to sell your bags. And it's even going to do what? Competitor analysis, right? Researching other locally produced or imported tote bags in Nigeria and the prices. So knowing all this, remember I told you data-driven decision making. As a business owner, everything you are doing should be based, right, on data that you have. First of all, who your competitors are, how much they are selling. And then you just did your market analysis. You calculated the total product cost, you know how much your profit can be, and you know how to position your bag so that you can make the maximum profit. So now the third point is saying determine selling price for profit margin. A good rule of thumb is to aim for a markup of 2.5 times to 3 times the total production cost, ensuring a strong profit margin while remaining competitive. Here is a potential pricing breakdown. You see, it's giving you a pricing breakdown. But the most important thing here is not simply that it's giving you products, how do you call it? Let's say the price prediction, but it's basing this based on information on your what? On your competition. So meaning that if you can really align your business to go through, I'm not saying that we should rely 100% on what ChatGPT is saying. Yeah, absolutely, because it has, sometimes it can make mistakes, but at least you have a very clear idea of what you want to achieve, right? Of where you need to position your bag, because you have data. And we can do better if you want to make sure that everything that ChatGPT is giving me is not accurate. Then do your own research, right? Remember the power of prompts. So just give ChatGPT or whatever AI you're using the type of data that you know based on the market. For example, you can feed the prompt with your competitors' information, how much they are selling. This time, you're pretty sure that data is accurate, even though this model is basing itself based on data known in Nigeria. Sometimes they're official, how do you call it, data coming from your statistic institutions, things like that. But still, if you are not very sure and you wanted something really, let's say, personalized, then you can feed the market you can feed rather the system with your own data. You see, this is how we can, this is how powerful AI is. Today, people just ask basic questions where we can do everything. Like just say that you are very new into this thing. I'm asking this. I like, for example, I like the idea. I want to create my own company into this business. Create a project charter. We know all a project charter, what it is. It's very important for every business you want to launch. A project charter. Create a mission and vision based on our national values. I intend to export these products internationally. Don't forget, you see how I'm asking my questions? Don't forget to provide me with a strong marketing plan. So you can see, it just created a project charter with Ankara and Leather Creations. Let's just say you don't have any idea of how you want to call your new project. You just called it A&L Creations. Of course, you can change it. It created a project objectives, launched the first collection of multifunctional tote bags within 6 months. Here also, you can change it to, how do you call it, to make sure that it suits your needs in terms of duration, achieve a production capacity of 500, but still you can change. This is just approximative. But if you like it, you can leave it this way. But if you don't, you know what to do. The project scope, the stakeholders, estimated budget, project timeline. It also created the mission, vision statement. Your marketing plan is here. Of course, you can go deeper if you have more questions to ask in details about a specific point. For example, the branding strategy. You can ask to stress more on this second point so that it suits your needs as well. So you can see, giving me suggestions to use Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook to showcase product photos, behind the scenes, video, and customer testimonies. So normally we all agree that to do what we've just done in less than 10 minutes required several hours of reflection, right? Coming with the design, crafting the project charter, even asking for cost evaluation. All these aspects would have taken us very, very, very long time. And you see, with the use of AI, what we just done is what? We made sure that we were very efficient. We are saving time for ourselves. Let's say if it was to be within our business process, one of our slides is giving us the percentage of how we can save money and even time in terms of cost and time. So yeah, does anyone else has another question? I'll be very happy to dive in it. But just keep in mind that prompt engineering is very important. You've seen that the way we've gone from asking specific questions sometimes, simply because we know what we want. Don't let it guess. Don't let it guess rather on our behalf. Let's make sure that we fed the AI with all our ideas and then we'll get results that we are really looking forward. Of course, we can use the first draft to tell it that I don't like the way you are giving me this. You can see here you have some thumbs up and thumbs down. Let's just say, for example, I don't like the way you are saying it. Can you say it better? So their strength is based on the fact that you can just chat with it as if you are talking to someone else. So here we go. It's really, I don't know why it's, remember, I just told you something, sorry. Here you can see, it's my name that is suggesting as what? A stakeholder. Do you know the reason why? It comes back to a question that you just asked. See, it knows me. Most of the time I ask questions, and right now it believes that the questions I'm asking is because I want to create a company with a tote bag. So obviously, right now, what it's doing is putting myself as the first founder and CEO. You see what I mean? Because exactly. So the system, or let's say the model, understood that Mounkaila is most of the time the one who is asking questions. So if I ask that question directly, it took into its own data saying this one of the stakeholders should be him because he's the one asking me the question. You see, right? But in somebody else's prompt, it may not show my name, but my idea somehow could be given to someone else. We are saying that that answer I'm giving you comes from this person actually. So yeah, I'm glad it did. Do you have another question? I'm sorry, my time is really coming to an end. I don't know how to do it, and we have some aspect to cover too. Because you were an hour late. And so what do you suggest? Hello? Because we have really interesting, because the part that I really wish we could cover is more the practicality, the one with Excel and VBA. It would have been very interesting to show you how to use advanced functionalities of Excel with artificial intelligence. I know, even right now, I know many people, many business owners that owns business that wanted to know how to use Excel because Excel is just a powerful tool. But today, Excel isn't that powerful when it's come to the difficulty that it has when people want to learn it. Simply because it's powerful, definitely it comes with some complexity also aside. So you mean what I mean is that how to use now AI to make it so easy that you wouldn't even be afraid to go face any Excel expert. It will instantly turn all of you into Excel experts, from analyzing your data, from making forecasts, from organizing your supply chain, and many more aspects of business operations management that we could have used with AI. So I'm so sorry that we couldn't cover this maybe today, but maybe the organizers can share my contact with you. I'll be glad maybe to schedule another session to go deep into these interesting subjects and to make using, let's say, technology a symbol of growth to all of your businesses or any business you have in mind, even if it's not yet effective. So I'm sorry we have to stop here. I'm already 30 minutes late to my next agenda. And I will be glad to hear your takeaways, what worked, what didn't work, and what you wish we should have, how do you call it, done. So the floor is yours. I know that everything didn't go very well, so I would be really happy to hear them for a minute. And yeah, thank you very much, Olatunji, for your comment. Yeah, so then they say silence means consent. If there is no there's no comment, I guess I would disconnect and go, and maybe we'll meet next time.
Okay, I think I have a comment.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so first of all, I would say we thank you very much for the insight.
No.
We are grateful to our community. So you've opened our eyes, especially me, on the AI and the AI generating app.
Yeah.
So yes, previously I didn't know you can even program the AI to read your product and help you in so many ways. So now we open our eyes and we look forward to get in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really free. I will just write my email right here if you want. If there's no problem, if anyone wants to get in touch with me, I'll be very happy to take this discussion further. Or if there is any second another time that you want to schedule, maybe to finish this, to talk rather deeply, I'll be very happy to do that. It's really a pleasure for me to be speaking to you, and I really hope that our paths will cross again. It's my pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your time.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.